udah lama banyak yang request aku untuk bikin vlog sama suami aku. Finally, sebenarnya vlog ini termotivasi karena aku mau share pengalaman aku setahun di Amerika. So it's been a year. I'm in the States now. Kami berangkat itu April 2018. So sekarang sudah 1 tahun. So yeah, I want to share what did I get, what did I learn from the past year. Dan semoga ini boleh menjadi inspirasi bagi teman-teman semua. First of all, aku mau memperkenalkan diriku. Mungkin ada beberapa yang belum tahu. Nama aku Maria Grace Delima. Aku lahir di Jakarta, besar di Bekasi, Jakarta, dan Depok. Aku berumur 27 tahun. Aku menikah dengan seorang yang luar biasa yang ada di belakang kamera sana. Athens Gomez Selaban, bulan Juli tahun 2017. So sudah hampir 2 tahun pernikahan kami. Kedua, aku akan menceritakan kenapa kami ada di Amerika. Aku masih terima banyak DM di Instagram. Why do you guys live in the US gitu? Ada sejarahnya. Jadi aku akan ceritakan sebentar. So I want to tell you the story about how we live now in the US together with my family from my husband's side. Jadi tahun 1986, my late father-in-law, ayah dari suamiku, itu pursued his master's and doctoral degree in Louisiana State University here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. We call it LSU. Kemudian 2 tahun kemudian, my mom-in-law and abang, I call my husband abang, samperin ke sini, ke Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Waktu itu umur abang 2 tahun. Jadi his first language was English for 5 years. Dia dan almarhum bapak dan my mom-in-law tinggal di Amerika. Jadi TK dan SD awal-awal abang ada di sini. Saat itu my mom-in-law sedang mengandung Grace, my first sister-in-law, Grace Delima, and she's now a mathematics teacher in California, dan juga lahir di sini. And then after 7 years or 5 years for my husband living in the United States, they come back to Indonesia, dan lahirlah my second sister-in-law, Krisan Silaban. She's now working in Atlanta, Georgia as accountant. She graduated in Master in Accounting in LSU. So all of them graduated from LSU, excluding me, or not yet. Anyways, and so saat abang umur 13 tahun dan adik-adikku itu masih umur 4 dan 4 tahun, my father-in-law passed away because of leukemia. And so my mom-in-law was thinking, I always get emotional when I told this story, was thinking how I raised my 3 children as a single parent, alone. And then the only thing she was thinking about was to get the best education for them, for my husband and for my sisters-in-law. Karena di Indonesia itu pendidikan itu mahal, and the better, the more expensive the school. And so my mom berpikir, apakah saya bisa bawa mereka ke Amerika gitu, karena pada dasarnya sekolah sampai high school di sini gratis. Well, it's not free, we have to pay taxes, but yeah, it's free, you know, it's not expensive than in Indonesia gitu, it's more affordable. And so she was so brave. Saat itu suami aku masih berkuliah S1 di UGM, teknik kimia. Jadi my mom caranya yang pertama adalah dia mendaftar untuk master di LSU, dan she got a scholarship, and then she could bring her daughters Grace Delima and Krisan Delima to come with her to United States. Dan abang masih tinggal di Jogja untuk selesaiin S1-nya dong. Long story short, abang setelah lulus S1 dia memutuskan untuk S2. He got a scholarship in LSU again in environmental engineering. My mom juga sampai menyelesaikan S3, and then puji Tuhan setelah abang lulus kuliah S2 langsung dapat pekerjaan. So he now works in the same company since he graduated. It's engineering consultant firm, utility works in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And so that's why I'm here, because the spouse has to come with him. Yeah. And so I'm here as a newbie, as an immigrant. I don't know. I know nothing about America, but I'm here. And I survived for the past year, from the past year. So I've been reflecting these days gitu, karena udah setahun aku itu suka soalnya merenung tentang sesuatu. Apa ya yang aku imajinasikan sebelum aku berangkat ke Amerika, dan apa yang aku dapatkan in the real life. Saat itu karena nggak pernah ke Amerika sebelumnya, dan kalau kalian udah baca blog aku, I failed 5 times to come to the US gitu ya. Jadi I know nothing gitu. I know nothing, and yang aku imajinasikan hanyalah seperti kehidupan di luar negeri di beberapa negara yang aku udah pernah kunjungi gitu. Dan kebetulan aku pernah magang di Eropa, di Polandia. Jadi mungkin kayak gitu kali ya, kalau aku mau jalan-jalan ya naik tram, naik bus. And then kalau aku mau ke minimarket or supermarket, maybe I can walk. And then foto-foto of course. Anyways, tapi ternyata Amerika itu besar, you guys. So I'll show you, okay? So I got a map of United States of America. Ta-da! It's big.
Very big.
It's a big
Can
map.
I help you, baby?
Yeah, it's my husband.
Where's one?
Okay.
Where's the map? Come on.
Do you think? Okay.
Maybe here.
Can you see it? Okay. Okay. You want to check?
Yeah, they can see it.
Okay. So this is America. Okay, it has 50 states, 50 negara bagian. Negara bagian itu sebenarnya agak similar, agak serupa dengan provinsi, tetapi juga sangat berbeda, dia ekstrim. Dia namanya aja negara bagian. Jadi law-nya sudah berbeda, kemudian culture-nya, and then the structure, the infrastructure of the every state is different gitu ya. Nah, jadi kami tinggal di sini. Baton Rouge, Louisiana, capital city of the state of Louisiana. Okay? This is the south of America. Dan kalau kalian sering dengar New York, so New York is here, okay? And then kalau kalian tahu Los Angeles, California ada di timur ya.
Right.
And then kalau Alaska yang dingin ada di utara pastinya.
Somewhere
Here.
on the
Okay.
left side.
So we live here, and most of the states in the southern part of America itu nggak ada public transportation gitu. Jadi apa namanya? Jadi kenapa kalian sering lihat kami bawa mobil, atau juga jadi kebanyakan most of them they have cars gitu, karena satu-satunya transportasi ya harus nyetir mobil gitu. Jadi bukan kita manja gitu, and it's spread out. It means that dari satu tempat ke tempat lain sangat-sangat jauh gitu. Kita nggak bisa ke minimarket jalan, like there's no way gitu, karena jauh. So, nah, I used to drive. By the way, I used to drive kan di Indonesia itu nyetirnya itu di left side of the road, right? The right side of the wheel. Now I have to drive the opposite, so on the right side of the road. So can you imagine? I have to mix my brain from kayak nyetir di sebelah Wait, what a second. Di Indonesia kita nyetir di sebelah kiri, right? Ya.
Yes.
Ya, sebelah kiri jalan. Dan sekarang harus di kanan gitu. Jadi yang paling susah adalah ketika di persimpangan. Biasanya kita kalau belok kanan itu bisa, belok kiri itu langsung. Nah ini harus gini. Ya, can you imagine that? Okay. So that's crazy for me. Okay. And then a lot of things crazy too for me. Yeah, but I learned so much, so many things. Aku pikir Tuhan itu membuat aku ada di Amerika menjadi seorang istri dan ibu rumah tangga di sini. Itu Tuhan punya maksud gitu ya, supaya aku lebih mandiri gitu. Karena I believe kalau kita, if we were in Indonesia gitu, kita nggak akan, aku nggak akan jadi seperti ini sekarang gitu. I learn cooking every day and I eventually like it. Dulu aku nggak pernah ke dapur, sekarang aku bahkan kalau habis kerja ya aku terapinya malah masak gitu, because it's fun for me gitu. And my husband always so happy to eat my food. I mean, like, I don't know, is it really good, babe?
Yes, very good. Awesome.